400 years ago, one company changed the world. It didn't just sell spices, it owned oceans, commanded armies, and ruled trade routes stretching from Amsterdam to Asia today. Another company seeks similar dominance, not with cannons and sails, but with code and crypto. From the mighty Dutch East India Company to the blockchain giant Ripple, history might be repeating itself, just on a digital sea. Stay with us as we dive into how two empires, centuries apart, share the same obsession: controlling global trade. In 1602, the Dutch Republic gave birth to a corporate monster, the Verenigde Oostindische Compagnie, or VOC. It was the world's first multinational and the first company to issue public shares. Backed by the Dutch government, it held exclusive rights to trade with Asia. But this wasn't just a business. It was a state within a state. It could build forts, wage wars, and even sign treaties. Its ships carried spices, silk, and silver. But behind every cargo was power. The VOC wasn't chasing profit alone. It sought control over routes, resources, and nations. 4 centuries later, as Ripple builds financial bridges across digital borders, its mission sounds hauntingly familiar, a modern echo of an empire that once ruled the seas. Could Ripple be the 21st century equivalent of the VOC, quietly steering the world's money flows with algorithms and ledgers instead of ships and cannons? By the 17th century, the Dutch VOC had become more than a company. It had transformed into a sprawling empire, powered by ships, silver, and meticulous spreadsheets carefully maintained on parchment. While kings fought for thrones, the VOC fought for markets, relentlessly expanding its influence across continents. Every voyage it launched carried not just spices and precious goods, but the hopes, dreams, and fortunes of investors eager to ride the tide of global trade. Here's where it gets interesting. The Dutch invented diversification long before crypto traders ever did. Wealthy merchants didn't put all their money on one ship. They spread investments across several voyages. If one sank, others returned with fortunes. It was an early form of risk management, centuries before hard wallets and blockchain. They even traded VOC shares on the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, the world's first. This wasn't luck, it was strategy. The VOC's network of trading posts stretched from the Cape of Good Hope to Java, creating a web of global control. Spices became the 1600s version of liquidity. Whoever controlled them, controlled trade. The company's wealth fueled Dutch power, art, and influence, making Amsterdam the financial capital of the world. But behind the golden age glimmered a darker truth. Monopoly breeds corruption, greed, and collapse. Can any empire built on total control truly last? And could Ripple's ambition to dominate digital finance follow the same treacherous course? Fast forward 4 centuries. The oceans are gone, replaced by networks of data and digital currencies. But the mission feels eerily the same. Dominate global trade, this time through money movement instead of spice routes. In 2012, Ripple Labs emerged from the ashes of early crypto chaos, promising to fix what Bitcoin couldn't: fast, borderless payments for banks and governments. Ripple's tool wasn't a fleet of ships, but something far more efficient: the XRP ledger, a decentralized blockchain capable of moving millions across the world in seconds. Instead of ports and forts, Ripple built financial corridors, digital gateways linking banks from Singapore to Sao Paulo. And instead of gold or spices, Ripple traded in liquidity, the ability to move money instantly, bypassing old systems like SWIFT. Investors saw Ripple as the new power broker of the financial seas. But just as VOC faced storms and piracy, Ripple faced regulators and lawsuits. Its bold ambition to control money flows made it both revolutionary and controversial. And while Ripple claimed to democratize finance, critics whispered, "Is this another monopoly in disguise?" Because history has a habit of repeating itself, especially when control becomes more valuable than innovation. Could Ripple's digital empire be sailing straight toward the same fate as the VOC's golden ships? Just like the VOC's ships once sailed under royal charters, Ripple's rise thrived under a new kind of permission: regulatory tolerance. But when that permission was questioned, its empire shook. In 2020, the US Securities and Exchange Commission accused Ripple of selling unregistered securities, launching a battle that echoed the VOC's wars of legitimacy centuries ago. Back then, the VOC had the Dutch crown protecting its monopoly. Ripple, however, fought on its own, a tech company against a government machine. For years, the case cast a shadow over the crypto world, freezing partnerships and frightening investors. Yet, like the VOC weathering pirate raids, Ripple endured. By 2025, it settled with the SEC, paying hefty fines but regaining its license to expand globally. It emerged stronger, more centralized, and more determined, much like the VOC after every trade war. Both empires understood one thing: control the infrastructure, and you control the world. The VOC controlled ports. Ripple controls payment rails. The VOC taxed goods. Ripple earns from liquidity and partnerships. Power didn't disappear. It simply moved from the seas to the servers. But as history reminds us, every empire, old or digital, faces its reckoning. So the question remains: can Ripple rewrite the ending the VOC could not escape? The VOC's end wasn't sudden. It crumbled slowly, under the weight of greed, corruption, and overconfidence. By the late 1700s, the once invincible company was drowning in debt, its ships decaying, and its power fading. The same investors who once worshipped its shares watched their wealth vanish into the waves. Fast forward to today's digital oceans. Crypto investors know that feeling all too well. Take Brandon LaRocque, an investor who poured his savings into the promising XRP. Ready for retirement, he checked his XRP crypto wallet, only to see that $3 million worth of XRP had disappeared from his wallet in a matter of minutes due to hackers, modern-day pirates. His story mirrors that of countless VOC shareholders who learned that when you invest, risk never truly disappears. It just changes shape. Interestingly, Dutch investors centuries ago found a clever way to limit losses. They invested in multiple ships, spreading risk across voyages. Crypto investors do something similar today, splitting their assets across multiple offline hard wallets in hopes of weathering volatility. Different centuries, same instinct. Survive the storm. But here's the twist. Both then and now, diversification couldn't save investors from systemic greed. When one empire seeks to dominate trade, whether by ship or by blockchain, the fall always begins from within. So, will Ripple become the VOC of the digital age? A titan that reshapes the world, only to collapse under its own ambition? Or can it learn what the VOC never did? That real power lies not in control, but in balance. History's greatest lesson is simple. Innovation without restraint breeds collapse. From wooden ships to digital ledgers, the pursuit of total control has always carried the same hidden cost. If you found this story eye-opening, share it, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. Because next, we're uncovering more hacks by modern-day pirates stealing our digital future.